proposing a new green agenda, and she wants very rich people to pay a 70% tax rate to pay for it. Grover Norquist, who wrote an op-ed titled Ocasio-Cortez's 70% income tax rate is the opening shot in a renewed war against taxpayers. Grover is the Americans for Tax Reform president, and he's with us now. Are you basically saying that, look, it's not just the super rich who will get a tax increase, it's everybody? Is that what you're saying?
Well, absolutely. Couple of things. Cortez has one tax increase she's talking about, giving us a top rate of 70%, which would be highest in the world, higher than communist China, higher than everybody else. There's nobody in Europe with a 70% individual rate. So her proposal is to take us to the highest in the world on that tax. Yarmouth, the 71-year-old Democrat from Kentucky, supposedly the grown-up in the room, he's already called for taking the corporate rate from 21 to 28, up by a third to 28, higher than China, higher than Britain, higher than Canada, higher than Germany, to make us uncompetitive in the world. And add to that, all the Democrats and the Democratic Party have endorsed the $1 trillion tax on carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide tax, which they say will they want to use to fund stuff on green things. So these, and that's a tax on middle-income people. Rich people, use as much heating oil as you or I do, and drive cars as much as you or I do. This hits middle-income people, lower-income people dramatically, as it happened in France. So this is a three-headed beast we're looking at. Higher individual rates, higher corporate rates, gas taxes, energy taxes.
I don't see how you can fight it all off. Granted, there's not going to be a 70% tax rate on the super rich. There's not going to be a huge new tax on businesses. I got it. But they'll get something. They run the House. They run the important committees in the House. The Democrats all universally want taxes to go up. You can't fight everything. They're going to get something, aren't they?
Well, the Democrats wanted a tax increase for the last 6 years of Obama, and they didn't get anything. They only got tax increases when they had the House, Senate, and the presidency. The only time taxes have been raised in the United States since Bush left office, George Herbert Walker Bush, back in 90, he raised taxes after promising not to. Since then, they've never passed a tax increase unless the Democrats had the presidency, House, and Senate. First 2 years of Clinton, lost the House and Senate. First 2 years of Obama, lost the House.
But look, I mean, I think it's about half the population, half of income earners pay any federal income tax at all. Half the population pays none. So why shouldn't that half the population say, hey, wait a minute, we want improvements in our health care, improvements in our education, let's have the other half, the rich, let's have them pay for it. We're at that tipping point, aren't we? I know we've been there before, but we're right back at that tipping point where a tax increase on the rich may be more popular than you'd like.
Well, you'd think that would be more true. However, people who don't pay federal income taxes pay property taxes and sales taxes and energy taxes and gasoline taxes, and all of the Puritans who like cigarette and liquor taxes particularly hit lower and middle income people. So the middle income people, lower income people are battered by property taxes and all these other do-gooder taxes that Bloomberg and other guys like to put on poor people. So they feel overtaxed. You may go, but you're not doing the income tax yet. They still feel hit. So that's one of the things that helps us fight taxes in general. Lower income people are not excited about raising taxes because they think if you raise taxes on the Bloomberg billionaires of the world, you know what? They're next.
Okay, got it. Grover, thanks for joining us. See you again soon. Thank you.
You got it.
Sure.